Yes, this is me, Hudson George again. I'm doing a live as usual. Well, there were a lot of activities in Grenada in this last weekend. Carnival activity. They had shows in Grenada. They had Jab convention at Paul's Airport Strip, St. Andrew. Last weekend, in the weekend. And there was also a groovy soca show too in one of them hotels in the south. That's a clip of both shows, and they're all beautiful shows, in their own way. But my topic tonight is mostly about the Jab, but I'm going to still touch on the groovy soca for just a snippet of it. I saw some artists that good. Well, Black Adam is the big artist now with his big tune, Blessing. And you have Shot Pre. Back again, he always groovy, nice. And I saw other people. I saw a clip of Val in Ned, a small clip. I think maybe it was Blazer who made the video, I don't know, but I think it's Blazer, yeah. But Blazer doing a good work. He's doing a good work. Anyway, but let me go back to the Jab now. Now, my topic this evening is, where is the best place for Jab to have the convention, the showcase convention? Now, we know everything is about money. And we know the development of Grenada is in the south. Government say they want to revive agriculture. I don't have a problem with that. But I believe we could enhance with tourism with the agriculture. In rural Grenada, yes, agriculture, but we could enhance with tourism too. So, in terms of, you can say in the rural interior part of Grenada, you could bathe on the beach. But there is beaches on the sea coast of Grenada in the rural parishes. Granance is the #1 beach, maybe in the Caribbean. Yes, we have to accept that. It's in the south. But we have some tourist site to develop to put more money into the coffers, right? More money into the rural economy. Now, when Spice Mass Corporation was formed, they tried to transplant the Jab masquerade culture to the Carenage St. George to make a big show. Big, massive show, they said, to attract tourism. And in order to do that, they wanted to destroy rural people, authentic, traditional way of masquerading. No, we had a rebellion during the COVID, Jab rebellion or Jab resistance, as they say. The Jab was saying the former NNP government had promised them to have a little bit of Jab enjoyment during the COVID time, when the number of COVID cases had dropped. But then after the government changed their mind, Jab came out. Most people who support the opposition party, which was the NDC party that time, support the Jab when they came out. Now, all of them, government change, and the majority of them now turn on the Jab. The Jab is the enemy, right? Because the Prime Minister say Jab start to early. Now, I don't want to repeat myself over. Now, okay. Well, anyway, jab is too much for government. Government can jail all jab. And jab have silent supporters. I'm not a fool, I just watch the videos. Most of the people in the big concrete house, they sit in the veranda enjoying the jab and they're treating them good. I see what they're giving them drink and food do. Right? So this is silent support, right? Rural community, people are related. And some people in the big houses and they mature now, they used to play jab too. So they're loving it. We know that. So my point is, when Spice Mass Corporation try to kill rural carnival and steal we culture, I'm a rural Grenadian, so Spice Mass people were stealing our culture to showcase for tourists. But they failed. They say 100,000 jab on the Carenage for tourists. So when the jab rebel during COVID, they didn't want them in the Grenville town, so they sent them to Paul's Airport. They had the first convention. Right? Everything in Grenada with us politicize it. Which I don't believe jab Masquerades are NNP or NDC. Jab is a popular culture. So when they paint black with the tie and the old aisle, and they enjoy the drum and the shell and the bell, they're all studying NDC and NNP, or if they belong to other little minority parties. They just want to have a good time, right? So, with last year, when the NDC come to power, they enjoy themselves on Paul's Airport. Everything was fine. Right. After the rebellion, they get Paul's Airport. And then when NDC come in power, they get Paul's Airport again. So both NNP and NDC government give them Paul's Airport for them to do the thing. Now government launch carnival is the tourism industry. Now I don't want to go in trouble with people, but I don't throw in trouble. All Grenadians are the same fighting blood when we're ready. Now, the jab is part of the economy, but they don't want the jab people to know. St. Andrews are the most jab band, the most authentic jab band, followed by St. Patrick. St. Andrews are the most. As we know, St. Patrick is the place you find the most chutney. And they have some jab band too. Good jab band. But St. Andrew is the real place for more jab band, right? So, everything does happen for a reason. Why should we have the big jab festival on the Carenage for tourists when you have Paul's Airport street which is a mile long or more than a mile long? Brother, the people of St. Andrew need some tourist dollars too. They need part of the economy. You can't talk about reviving agriculture and taking the economy from the rural people. I see government bring some coconut plant they say they get from Brazil to plant. Right? So in 10 years, 15 years, when the coconut start behind, or 7 years, when you have carnival in Jab at the festival on Paul's Airport, farmers are going to be selling coconut water. We don't have a highway. Grenada don't have a major highway from Sutters to St. George's Town. Grenada have, in the Caribbean, maybe have the most vehicle population. Grenada is watching. Grenada has twice the number of vehicles Antigua has. Twice the number of vehicles Antigua have. Right? So Grenada have a lot of vehicles. Twice the number to Antigua. Right? If you listen to me carefully. Now I'm saying the best place for Jab is is Paul's Airport, not the Carenage. Because the economy, St. Andrew, the big parish, needs some money too. The money collect from the hotel owners and all them things. He stay in the hotel, and even those people who are left wingers between the NDC say the money doesn't stay in the country. Now I see a lot of them on Facebook cussing the Jab Jab. Who saying Jab Jab don't have skill, Jab Jab lazy. They don't know those Jab Jab people. I remember once I go Grenada for holiday. For Juve. My brother was a school principal in Anglican school in Sotters. My bigger brother to me. Older brother than me. He showed me a banner Jab Jab in Sotters, and he told me, he showed me one guy, the leader of the band had a master's degree. Right? But that banner Jab Jab is from Sotters area, on the outside of Sotters. And he even showed me a banner Shatney, and he told me that banner Shatney started playing Shatney in Sotters, in St. Patrick, when they were minors, like 12, 13, and they play and they become big grown-up men, and they still play. I didn't ask him the name of the band. But when he showed me the banner Jab Jab, he told me the leader of that band is somebody, and he pointed the guy to me. Show me the guy. The guy have a master's degree. So when I hear this people on Facebook saying, Jab Jab people, oh, they have no skill. You don't know who does play Jab Jab because you don't understand rural people. People who play Jab Jab, maybe they could come from homes that just play that, or they just enjoy it because they grow up in it. Right? So what I'm saying, what happened in Paul's over the weekend, I call it the 100,000 Jab Jab showcase in Paul's Airport, 2025. That should continue, and it could help boost the economy in St. Andrew if done properly. And based on what I'm hearing, they say Grenville will be the center for the Jab Jab this year. They go have a big jamboree there, the big thing. Well, that is good news. So let some money spent in Grenville. They say St. Andrews are the most prudent lasting. People stealing people products on the plantation. My God, well, if that's the case, which I believe, I see it on the news, St. Andrew and St. George Parish have the most stealing. St. Andrew is prudent lasting. In St. George, they steal almost other things because it's more commercial, right? So, the Jab Jab culture, we knowing that St. Andrew are the most Jab Jab band, let the economy stay with them. So when the tourists come to Grenada, come in St. Andrew and enjoy the carnival with the Jab Jab people in St. Andrew. Whether it's Paul's Airport or if it's in Grenville Town, but I will say Paul's Airport. Who selling, go make our money. You understand? Maybe Moonlight City should capitalize on it too. If we could have soccer party, why can't we have Jab Jab mini convention in big locations too? One can say that Jab Jab come like a Creole festival in Dominica, like how Dominican had a Creole festival. Why can't we have a Jab Jab festival instead of we crying on the people who playing Jab Jab in Grenada? When you watch Creole festival in Dominica and you watch Jab Jab, it's all Creole music. When you say Creole, you know what I mean. Homegrown stuff mixed up with some African thing, with a little French Creole and all kind of thing. So Grenada doesn't have a highway. Going back to the highway business. Saying Spice must want to make 100,000 Jab Jab on the Carenage for tourists. When the rural kid cannot see the Jab Jab again, how are you going to learn to play it? And when the elders die out, where you get 100,000 Jab Jab from the country to come in town and play mass for you. To put money in the economy in St. George Parish. You understand? So, the best place is leave the Jab people in the St. Andrews area, and they observe the St. Patrick people and maybe the St. David's people who identify with rural. The South of St. David people don't identify themselves with rural Grenada, but those in the North identify themselves. And then you have pockets of people who they don't care which parish they're from, they just want to have a good time. They don't have this prejudice and this town country thing in them. They want to have a good time. They could come from St. George Parish, they could come from everywhere else, you know what I'm saying? Because I notice Willis in St. George is very into the culture, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not dividing people. I'm just looking at the economy, tourism, and how the Jab culture could bring money to St. Andrew. Right? So I won't stay too long. All I want to say is the best place to showcase Jab, or for the best location for Jab is Paul's Strip, not the Carenage. Not the Carenage. So when the tourists come to Grenada, when next year on Spice Mass Corporation and I'm doing the thing, they have to put on the brochure and their advertisement come to Paul's Airport. Yeah. So you don't want to open Paul's Airport for plane to fly again. It's rich people children running drag race on it. So with the drag race throughout the Caribbean. The NNPD opened it once. When the NDC come in power in 2008, they close it down. They say it's not feasible. So give the Jab the airstrip, let they do their thing. Yeah. Bring money in St. Andrew. That's why if the people keep the culture in the rural, let the money stay in the rural. It's like internal exploitation. You know what I'm saying? Let the hotel host this nice goofy show or the stadium. You know? And also, maybe the Jab people should form an organization. So, other time in there, they could have show, but in that organization, they should they're not using tar. They won't black up themselves when it's not carnival. If they want to have one in the middle of the year, like an Easter jam, they could just be the drum and sing, you know, and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, Paul's Airport is the best place for the 100,000 Jab. Bring back the culture where it belongs to. The British went to Africa and stole the artifacts of the African people, and they don't want to give them back. The other day, what they were telling the people in Nigeria and Benin State, I think it was Benin State, they're going to rent them the thing they stole from them. So in Grenada, Spice Mass Corporation is like British colonizers. You don't come in the country and thief people culture and take it in town for tourists. Let the tourists come in St. Andrew to enjoy the culture. You understand? This is how we have to be if we want to have a good Grenada. And stop those you on Facebook labeling people that playing Jab as if you think they're fools. They are not fools. It's a tradition, the culture. So some people like it, some people don't play. They don't even whine, they don't sing, but they enjoy it. Because if I'm in Grenada, I go enjoy it too. I'm going to enjoy it too. And I enjoy it on the Facebook. So So the two show over the weekend, I see Blazer put up a video with the Groovy and he said it was a nice show. And it was a nice show, yes. I watched Blazer video. Good work, Blazer, as usual. Blazer doing a good work. So, and all those who are on Facebook trying to pick fights with people over what took place at Paul's over the weekend. It doesn't make sense. That's a culture. Whether you like it, you don't like it. It's a culture. You gotta learn to live in harmony with people and coexist. What you like, I don't like. And what I like, you don't like. I just accept it as it is. Accept it as it is. Carnival is to make money now. Who money in whose pocket the money is going in? You can't exploit the rural man over and over. I remember a little boy he fall in a hole in Grenville. And people were on Facebook say, oh, lock up your father, lock up the father, lock up the father. He careless. I post on Facebook, if they lock up the father of the child what fall in the hole and die in the gutter, he could sue the government too. Because they didn't fix the hole. From the time I post that, everybody keep quiet. You see, we don't only move with emotions without thinking. If the government charge the father for the kid and said negligence, he left the little boy in the car and the little boy straight. They will say, oh, you're not a good parent. You didn't look after the child's well-being. Just so the father could have turned around and sue the government and say, you didn't fix those manhole in Grenville town. So, we don't just pick things side and argue. And too much. We have to learn to believe, to learn to accept what you like is not what our other person like. So the people who want and enjoy themselves in the job, they could come from different level. They all come from different level of education, different level of employment, different social class, making more dollar spending power. But they had one thing in common. They were enjoying themselves. So you can't just say, oh, it's job, it's stupid people. I ask that question again. Does what culture the upper class does keep that could entertain people? If you go all over the world, culture comes from grassroots people. It don't come from the rich and famous or the intellectual class. And that's why we're making mistakes. The intellectual class have their role in society. The grassroots man have a role, and the grassroots man have the role in society. The musician, the visionaries, everybody. So I would say leave the job, invite tourists to come to Grenville and keep the money in Grenville, because we doesn't have a highway. And the south of St. George is kind of overpopulated already. So why can't you just leave the job in Grenville, let the people make a $2 they put in their pocket? Then politicians coming up in with the tongue and meeting and bramble people all the time. You waiting on them for a better life? Yes, planting the crops is good, but how many years you take to get some money back in your pocket? I was talking to some members of my household in Grenada, my family in Grenada. And they tell me how after Hurricane Beryl, how much papaya and pumpkin all over the place, lots of food, right? Too much pumpkin spoiling in the north of the island. Or you have to give people. Right? Our next person tell me how much Where I from Hermitage is a cold place. With the change of the climate, with the burial, they catching big iguana in Hermitage. I grew up in Hermitage. If I ever see an iguana in the area where I was born and raised in Hermitage, maybe once if ever, because iguana was scarce up there. But with the hurricane, iguanas, they were holding big iguana in my neighborhood now. Maybe when things cover up, not in the nut with all some of the spices that fall and they go back, we mightn't see the iguanas again. They stay on the coastline. So, what I'm saying is, the Jab people have a good thing going right now. All they have to do is organize themselves better and demand from the system. It has nothing to do with the NNP or NDC culture. Politicizing culture is a dangerous thing. Don't politicize culture. And whatever I say, it doesn't reflect on yellow or green. Because yellow and green, when green was in power, yellow was Jab best friend. I won't say yellow is Jab enemy, but they defending the party. To me, that's hypocrisy. Will you think about because you don't like certain thing? No, you can't do that. You gotta learn to be diverse and embrace diversity and leave the politics behind it. No political party is perfect. Politicians are not gods, they are human beings. Not every time the politicians say they're right, not everything the people do they're right. The people could be wrong and they could be right. Then again, Carnival in Grenada is not something we adapt for money. Carnival in Grenada is a tradition. From since the days of the plantation. Leave it alone. Leave Jab in rural Grenada. St. Andrew should be the center for it, not the Carenage. What you want to do in town in the Carenage, do it, that's your thing. But leave it in the country. Anyway, I gone here till I come again. Hudson George as usual. I go on till I come again.